Hello YouTube family. I am gonna take you through the installation of a temporary solar structure that I want to put up for now because I'm still we're out here off grid. We're living in an RV, just building away, and I need to get off the generator. It's I got small solar panels for my RV that charge the 12-volt battery up, several batteries up, but it's just not enough to get the furnace blower running through the night. So I've decided to go ahead and put up a temporary solar setup. I'm going to use one of my rooms in here for my inverter and my solar charger and my power. So I've decided to use the back side of this. Eventually I'm going to put a greenhouse on the back of this, but for now I got to make an adjustment, and that's all about living off grid. You got to be flexible, and not everything goes according to plan. So I'm putting up a temporary solar system. Now, this should be enough for 12 panels. As you can see, I have 12 solar panels over there, and I got 24 total that I'm going to be installing eventually, but for now I think 12 will get us through the winter, stop having, and on through the building season. But right now, you can see what I've done. I'm using these structs. They call them structs, S-T-R-U-C-T, and I've mounted these structs. I had to measure, and 10 feet, 20 foot wasn't enough, so I had to get an extra one and cut it, and it ought to be just about perfect. I'm hoping to get 6 panels set up vertically along here, and also the angle here is pretty important for the latitude that I'm at. So what you do is you get latitude, you get your latitude, and you can just look that up for your community, nearest community, and get that angle, and then this angle right here on the ground going across, you imaginary plane across here is going to be that angle. Let's say it was 30 degrees or 32 degrees or 36 degrees, whichever it is for your latitude. They've got right triangle calculators. You just put in the A distance, which is from here to here, and then it'll tell you, you can measure from that distance the top of your solar panels down to the ground, and at the lowest part, which for me was down there at that corner, and then you calculate your distance here, and that's all you got to do once you get that distance calculated. And then I bought these 2x8s treated 16 footers, and they worked out pretty good for this scenario. I am just temporarily doing this, so I'm just using stakes and then digging it in the ground. We're in the kind of the desert out here, and this will dry up. Right now we're in winter still, and it's okay if it sags a little bit for now. I got a pretty solid setting up against the house where it should hold these up, and it may sag a little bit. It's not a a thing that has to be perfect, that angle and all that. So even if these settle a little bit, I just didn't want to put concrete in and mount these yet, because like I said, this is temporary. Eventually this will become a greenhouse, so I'll be taking all this down, reusing this lumber, and these definitely these channel struts that I just got at Lowe's. You can get them at Home Depot. Your local hardware store has these things, and yeah, so I should be able to mount my solar panels. That's my next step. I had to I had to put a piece in. It was perfect. I did as you can see, I did 2, 4, 8 these struts, and then I took one and cut it up perfectly into 30-inch pieces, which gives me the exact width, I think, according to my calculations, that I need to start installing my solar panels. And it should go perfectly 6 across. We'll see if my math worked out. And a pretty day today, but yeah, so I'll update you when I'm done here. I did this all by myself. I didn't really need any help doing this. you can, you just kind of work with the boards slowly, one at a time. Put your things up, put your struts up. Screwed all those down with lag bolts. Put my plates in there. The cool thing about these plates is they sell these big thick plates for struts, but they don't fit inside the channel. And I bought these little plates here. They're used for rafter building and rafter ties, and they work perfect. So I just drilled some holes in them and put me some bolts in them, and it's going to work out great. It's pretty solid, very solid. This is going to hold up. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to get, because I'm a little concerned that these lag bolts may not hold this down. If I got a pretty stiff wind blowing in here, I may close off these ends so that wind can't get underneath it. But I'm going to put some L brackets that you can buy for these things, and L bracket these struts down, just in case. I imagine I'd be in big trouble if a lot of wind came in here and caught up underneath the solar panels, because these ends aren't really tied down with concrete. That's my only concern at this point, but I'm hoping for the best and praying for the best that the weight of this will hold down and not get, it's kind of like a wing anyway. So I think if I close off the ends and no wind can get in the edges, and it'll make a nice little shape, kind of like a place in there that I can put lumber and things and store things. So anyway, that's all for hello YouTube family, back for the finishing of our 10 panel solar setup. These are 440 watt panels, and I got room to add a couple more, but this is temporary and turned out pretty nice, I think. Got room for a couple more to go to 12. It's turned out okay. The only issues I had was I had to loosen these struts to get the holes to line up perfectly, and turned out okay though. I was pretty pleased with this construction, and this could be long lasting if I want to put some foundation, better spot foundations down here, but I don't plan on doing that. And so I got them in two strings of 5 panels each, and they're just serialized. These 2 strings are in parallel with each other, and yeah, it's not hard to set up solar. You just gotta put in a good mount. That's important. And so I bring my 2 strings over along this to my combiner box, and I could put up to 4 strings on this combiner box. Each string has its own fuse, and I got a full on and off switch for the whole set of 4 strings. I'm only using 2 strings, and then of course there's a nice lightning surge protection device here, which I've got grounded to a earth ground, and a little earth ground here going in. Because it's temporary, I didn't want to punch new holes in the wall, so I'm coming through a window, and that's okay for now. And then I'm feeding an outlet up by my trailer so that we can, I gotta run some conduit, but right now my wood's in the way, so it's kind of frozen in there, so I gotta wait till it warms up a little more, and I'll move my wood to where I can run a conduit and make it more safe. Right now I just got to watch my walk, because I don't like having this Romex just running out on the ground. Okay, so here we are, moved inside the little workspace I've built, and it's unfinished, but it's my temporary spot, and this is where those wires we saw going up the wall are coming in. And I got a combination of AC and DC here, because solar panels are AC and DC. And I bought this little Sun Gold power unit. It's a, for any of you who'd like to know, that's the make and the model of it. Pretty nice little unit. As far as we're concerned, it's a 6,000 watt 48 volt DC, and it's a let's see, I forget all the stats on it. 75 amp, 125 amp max fault current for the AC output. And so far it's working great. I have my repurposed Nissan Leaf Gen 1 batteries that came out of on the secondary market. Right now I'm only using 7 times 7 49 batteries, which is I think these things are they're 500 watt, 3,500 watts each, so it's about a 25K battery system. But of course they never can do 100% of that. But it's working great for us, 2 people, and I'm able to run pumps. I'm able to run our blower for our heater and our trailer. Gets me through the night. The 10 panels charge this up with full sunshine, charge it up pretty quick actually. Like right now it's a little after 1, we've had a sunny day, and I'm at full power, 57.8 volts. That's my full power on this system. And yeah, it's not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We've had about 5 hours of daylight, and it ran great. So my solar panel wires, they come in here from that little box. They come down to this breaker here, and then they feed into one of my solar. This has the ability to run 2 strings, so I could run another 4,000 watts of solar panels into this panel. So I'll be good with my. I mean, I'm right now, this thing at full sunshine is only producing. Let's get to my P2. Come on. Let's see. Input. Yeah. Yeah, it's only because it's cloudy, a little cloudy right now. It's 700. Oh, plus, once it reaches full peak, it throttles down the input. So instead of seeing about 3 kilowatts, which is what I've seen somewhere in between 3 and 4 kilowatts when the sun's shining bright and I'm charging these batteries up. It's handling everything nicely. I'm very pleased with it. Of course, I have a breaker, off on a breaker for the solar coming in, and if I ever have a second one up, I wasn't sure if I'd need to do 2 strings, but I only need to do 1 string coming in, or 2 strings on 1 circuit coming in. This black wire here is for my generator, so my generator connects up. This step right down here is my on-off switch. Instead of I just use a fuse panel to disconnect my generator from the inside. That would be my generator feed, because I'm completely off grid. I haven't had to use the generator. It's been a beautiful thing. I was running my generator every night, basically all night long. And I was running, about 6 gallons a night, 7 days a week. You can do the math. It gets pretty expensive. So we're so happy that we're not burning gas anymore and not running our generator. This was a well invested time for living off grid here and dependent on power. And so my batteries, you can see my batteries are all in a nice long string here. And feeding this panel, and then my AC output comes into another way to disconnect it. I like that because I have another outlet here for my generator in case, let's say my solar system broke, and these things, you know, they can go bad, they're electronics, and if I had to, then I could just unplug my generator from here and plug it in here, disconnect this, and I'm completely off of the solar system and feeding my house. And this Hermaplex here, I call it, I would be feeding the AC directly from the generator, and I could bypass the system. That's why I do this with a disconnect, so that, because you don't want to hook your generator output here and you have your output from your solar panel at the same time, because that would break this thing. You can't do that. So you need to disconnect one and only have one feed connecting to the panel. And I just have a little breaker panel there for my power that feeds this shop here, and yeah, so that's my temporary system. Have things grounded, and that's it. God bless you, YouTube family, until the next video.